When a Stranger Calls is a 1979 horror thriller directed by Fred Walton, starring Charles Durning, Carol Kane, and Colleen Dewhurst and Tony Beckley. Now, I had so much hype for this movie because, it's how the movie's marketed in the trailers. I saw it and all people talked about, and all I really knew about it was the beginning. Okay? Now, the setup of the movie, it opens like real quick. Carol Kane plays the babysitter, and she goes there, and you know, they give it a little dumb. Like, the kids are upstairs, they're sleeping, don't wake them up, like, they'll be good. And then they leave, and so then it's just her, like, doing homework, walking around the house, talking on the phone, having a drink here or there. Then she gets a phone call, she picks it up, and it's just a voice that says, "Have you checked the children?" She's like, "What?" Then hang up. Then, this keeps happening, and she's getting scared and scared. I mean, it's like so tense. And Carol Kane's acting in it is just 10,000. Like, she's on top of her game. She's like, "I don't know who you are, but I've called the police, and they are coming." And, the phone keeps ringing, and it's like, "Have you checked the children? Have you checked the children? Have you checked the children?" And then, police call back, and she picks up, and she's like, "Hello? Who's there?" And she's like, "Hi, this is," and he's like, "Hi, this is the sheriff we traced the call, and it's coming from inside the house." And she's like shaking, and she looks up. She puts the phone down, and you see the kid's bedroom door open, and this figure slowly come out, and she just books it to the door. And I'm like, holy shit, what's gonna happen now? Like, is he gonna be chasing around the house? And then before I could even think of something, it cuts to 7 years later, and then a character pops up. Yeah, it was super terrible that he killed the two kids, and the babysitter had to like go to therapy, and now she's traumatized for life, and we have the guy locked up. And I'm like, what? What the fuck? Because how this movie was marketed to me is this crazy guy's terrorizing this babysitter in the house, and she has to protect the kids. That's not what that movie. That's like the first 20 minutes of the movie, which is the strongest part of the movie, and then it's like the last act is pretty strong. It's the in between. My problem is there's three different movies going on of how it could play out. So the rest of the movie is the killer escapes, and the parent of the perished children pays this detective to find him and kill him. Simple as that. So it's a detective wandering around the city, being a couple steps behind the killer, and the killer just kind of walking around the city trying to get laid. That's what it is. And then it comes full circle where the detective finds Carol Kane, or no, the killer finds Carol Kane and is calling her house and like, "Have you checked the children?" And then the detective comes in and shoots him. And I'm like, what? This is a fucking movie? This is it? And so I was just devastatedly disappointed by this movie, because how it could be and how it should be is, her running around the house protecting the kids and like trying to do all this maneuvers while this cop is racing to get there. And then you could do where like the killer leaves, or yeah, the intruder leaves. Then it's kind of a cat and mouse game. Then when she's babysitting again, he strikes again. Like, that'd be really cool. Or have it a completely different movie where you have the opening scene happens, and then the rest of the movie is just like this cat and mouse game with this detective chasing this killer. Okay, that's like another movie could have been. Or the third one being like where this babysitter who was traumatized by this event finally has her own family, and something similar, like a copycat, is trying to get at her, or something better than what I got, because I was very disappointed with this movie. I give it a 2 out of 5. Fucking disappointing.